I'm going to talk today about my favourite announcer or favourite person on Sky News, Rita Panahi. But before I do, I just want to let you know that if you're watching this prior to 3 o'clock Australian Central Standard Time or summertime, you could be aware that there is a live feed I'm doing at 3 o'clock, just covering some of the political issues that have arisen over the last few days. And so please, though, remember, before you do anything else, please subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, Rita has decided that on her session, Lefties Losing It, we're going to see what a disgusting, irrelevant human being Rita is, and also, I guess, what a waste of space Sky News are. Seriously, I tend to get really frustrated with them because they are so disingenuous and so hypocritical that it makes one wonder what is their moral compass, if they have one at all. And here is Rita highlighting three events, I guess, and that's all I'll show you of this Lefties Losing It, where the first one is Molly McNeely, who's Jimmy Kimmel's partner, and she's talking on a podcast about her feelings in relation to the right-wing media, and particularly the views that I think some of her relatives have, and how she deals and tries to cope with this. Because for some people, believe it or not, Rita, for some people in the United States, what's happening with regard to Donald Trump and the ICE movement and generally the way he's governing the country, which obviously is a disaster, some people are really distressed about. And I would suggest that if the same things were happening here in Australia, I would be equally distressed. We've had some shitty governments, whether it be Abbott, whether it be Morrison, or whoever. We've had some terrible governments, but none of them have been as horrific as what's happening in as the Trump administration and what's happening in the US. So I can understand, if you live in the United States, the trauma that you must be feeling because you're watching your country dissolve before your very eyes. You're watching chaos being exemplified at every possible turn. And so the result has to be, for some people, it is distressing. But Rita, who is one of the most disingenuous, disengaged, unempathetic human beings you could possibly ever imagine, could not have that concept. She does not understand what this must be like for other people, because Rita has been cast with the role, the job of expressing her dismay at anyone who holds a counter view to her own. And it says a lot about Rita, it says a lot about Sky News. So this is the segment I'm going to refer to, and it's called Lefties Losing It. And this is Rita, who is in herself, I think, losing it.
It's time for Lefties Losing It. And let's start with a fine example of the modern left. They're privileged, out of touch, hateful, angry lefties. Let's hear from Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
And of course, we don't have any people on the right who are angry, who find it difficult to separate themselves in a rational way, who are able to view what's happening in the US with a sense of detachment. No, not these people on Sky News. They see it as something which is, I guess, antithetical to their own beliefs.
And show producer Molly McInerney, whose moral compass is so warped that she needs deprogramming. That's her word, not mine. First, listen to this bit of chutzpah. She seems to think that anyone who votes for Donald Trump is a victim of misinformation.
So there's like a little bit of sympathy I have for people in my family that I feel are kind of being deliberately misinformed every day. And they've...
So where Rita got this idea that it was people who voted for Trump, I'll never know, because she's just talking about how she's responding to people who voted for Trump in her family, Rita.
I know.
Yeah. They're deliberately being misinformed every day.
Are they watching your husband's awful program? Because that's where the hysteria, hate and misinformation is happening. You think we forgot about him lying, straight out lying about Charlie Kirk's murder? Let's hear more.
That is disinformation. He did not lie about it whatsoever. That's a complete distortion of fact, and Rita knows that. But, this is about her getting as many clicks as she can from the crazy right-wing movement, I guess.
From Molly and her delusions of grandeur.
My husband is out there fighting this man. And to me, them voting for Trump is them not voting for my husband and me and our family. And I unfortunately have kind of lost relationships with people in my family because of it.
Note, Rita, she's talking about her family. She's not talking about the general population who voted for Trump. She's talking about her family.
This is not just Republican versus Democrat for me anymore. Mm-hmm. It is, to me, it's family values. I feel like I'm kind of in constant conflict, and I'm angry all the time, which isn't healthy at all. But I personalize everything now. When I see these terrible stories every day, I'm immediately mad at certain aunts, uncles, cousins who put him in power. And it's really hard. And I wish I could deprogram myself in some way, but I get really angry.
Yeah, I think a deprogramming is a fine.
I think Rita is the one that needs deprogramming. Rita is the one that is expressing a sense of projection around all of these particular issues.
An idea. Imagine being that lucky and privileged and choosing to be miserable and bitter every day.
Imagine being like you, Rita, that privileged individual such as yourself, and being bitter and resentful and hateful every day as you are.
Nasty too, to your own flesh and blood. Now,
and just notice the title. The title is Moranic Maniacs. Okay, need I say any more?
Here is another foul lefty with pronouns in her bio, naturally, who thinks it's fun to mock Erica Kirk, a grieving widow who lost the love of her life, the father of her 2 young children, in the most tragic circumstances. But for the left, well, it's just a reason to mock her.
All right, Erica, this is your moment. This is your moment to...
So can someone explain to me why, because they're playing this one clip of this woman mocking Erica Kirk, that for some reason it is all of the left that are mocking Erica Kirk? I can see why people would mock her, because I think her performances are mockable, to say the least. So I understand where this woman's coming from, but is it all the left?
This is your moment to show America how amazing you are. Be the sad, grieving widow that you have always dreamed of. This is my moment. Fox News. My husband. Yes, we should have cameras in the courtroom. My husband was murdered.
These people really are soulless. Now,
no, Rita, you're the one that is soulless.
Let's go to another celebrity who really should not speak about politics. Russell Crowe was on Joe Rogan's podcast and was asked about what's happening in Australia. This was his asinine answer, and a warning here. You may lapse into a coma in the next 36 seconds as you listen to this, as Crowe struggles to articulate his love for Australia's radical left Prime Minister.
What is wrong with the way Australia's run? Well, we're a little...
I think that's a really interesting question. Don't it goes with a really negative question here, Joe does? What is wrong with Australia? So, as opposed to what is right. And interestingly enough, the response he gets from Russell is probably not what was expected.
A little bit lucky at the moment. We have a Prime Minister who's very much motivated by trying to help everybody. which should be the job of a politician, right? To improve the lives of the people that they represent. And he's kind of inherited, a conga line of stupidity that was going on, and he's trying to fix things.
So we won't play anything more of Rita because she's friggin' boring. But what I am interested in, which I would like to talk about, is the fact that every time Rita does this segment on Lefties Losing It, she highlights things that people are saying that that are counter to any of her arguments that she wants to put forward. For example, Molly talked about how this experience with her family was impacting her in terms of those people that voted for Trump, and how I guess some of those arguments and some of those discussions within her family were upsetting, which is fair enough. The second one about the woman ridiculing Erica Kirk is perhaps unfair, and I will accept that. But then when you see Erica Kirk in the speeches that she gives, she is mockable, definitely. So let's mock her. I don't have an issue with that. What's happened to her husband is horrific. But on the other hand, this is Erica doing her sad, widow type thing, and maybe she is still feeling some sort of sadness. I would imagine that she probably is, but she presents in a way which makes her mockable. And then we have Russell Crowe, who's talking about, was asked a negative question but turned it into a positive by saying that he believes that Albo's doing all the right things and looking after people, which is what he's voted to do, which is fine. So the points in those three areas that Rita is challenging does not enhance Rita's position on the right at all. It highlights those three areas I've just talked about. And Rita, I think, looks foolish for doing it. So, Rita, I would suggest you abandon Lefties Losing It. Just attack people. Be a little bit more, I guess, aggressive rather than trying to put these people on air and then having whatever they say on air justifying your position, because it doesn't. You look stupid, to say the least. So let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Remember to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell for further notifications. Take care, everybody.